The Conjuring Last Rites will end Ed and Lorraine Warren's story in this amazing horror universe. Anthony, I freaking love this movie. They capped it off so well. There was so much heart, great horror, amazing practical filmmaking and filmmaking in general. And I was surprised how much heart this had. It's a great story for families. Not well for kids to go to, but like great family stories.
It's a great kids movie.
Mixed with amazing dread and horror.
This is also going to open huge and continue Warner Brothers' unmatched streak at the box office.
Oh, they're going to go number 7 in a row.
Number 7 for number 1 box office weekends for releases this year.
So you've been saying it wrong.
Yes.
They didn't break the record for most in a row. They broke the record for most in a row with 40 million minimum.
Okay, then that's even crazier.
So 7 movies in a row,
Yeah.
40 million opening domestic weekend, number 1 at the box office.
Conjuring Last Rites is going to open to projected 80 million global, which would be about 50 to 60 domestic because it's not going to release internationally right at every theater like in America. But honestly, I think this is going to make even more than that. I think this closes in on 90 mil global opening weekend on a $40 million budget, so it's already going to be in the green after 3 days of release. And you know what? I agree with the success of it. It deserves it. This movie was, for the 4th film in a horror franchise, I can't think of a horror franchise with sequels that has such a strong 4th film.
Consistency, especially, yeah.
It's a really good franchise, and I think all 3 movies are really good in different ways, and the original was always my favorite, but I gotta say, man, we saw this a while ago. It was like 10 days ago.
It was like 8 years ago we saw The Conjuring Last Rites.
We were actually on the set watching it. This movie was really freaking good. As fans of horror, we're having a great year, and I love that, you know, this movie, it hits all the right beats for a sequel and for a finale in a franchise. I think that they will always be making Conjuring movies in some capacity.
Universe, adjacent.
And there are some breadcrumbs to possible trajectories they can go with other stories in this film. I don't think this was a solidified, this is the last Conjuring movie, but this is the end of the Ed and Lorraine story. Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga's performances as these characters are iconic for the franchise and contemporary horror. And man, they brought it. It was a really tight script. It had a lot of emotion, really great characters, well fleshed out. I thought the scares were awesome. They got pretty creative with it. There's some really fun stuff in it. And also, tying to the past, it's kind of an origin story as well. We do see Ed and Lorraine's first case, and this is in the trailer. It's not a spoiler. We won't spoil specifics until a few minutes into the episode. So it does tie. There is an origins element to it, but it leans into that just for a little bit, and it's self-contained. And I had an absolute blast with the film. Funny, heartfelt, scary, exciting, just so much fun.
Was it their first case?
That was the first case.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So I can see where they're going from here. So they've been very specific with the wording. This is the last Conjuring movie, which will end Ed and Lorraine Warren's story. Mm-hmm. But does that mean it's going to be the last Conjuring movie after the box office performance just in the opening weekend? You bet your ass it's not going to be. Of course, we'll still get the Universe movies. Annabelle movies, I'm sure, will come out. We'll get more of the Nun movies, who actually is Vera Farmiga's sister plays the Nun in those movies, which is really cool.
Tessa Farmiga.
Tessia. There's an I in there.
Taissa,
yeah.
Tessia.
Tessia
Farmiga.
Hey, that's close enough, man. But where I see The Conjuring going from here, and you know Warner Brothers and Atomic Monster and James Wan and Peter Safran, who have been kind of pioneering this whole ship for the Conjuring franchise, I think they're going to go and make Judy Warren and who's
Tony
in Jack Smurl.
Tony.
Tony.
No,
right.
Jack's the family.
Tony, sorry.
Yeah.
Judy and Tony, I think they're going to take on the mantle and become the new demonologists and paranormal investigators for the Warren family. And I guarantee maybe we'll get some cameos for Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga here and there as Ed and Lorraine. But I can see them taking Judy and Tony and going to the future, making new Conjuring movies with them starting out. Because let's be honest here, these movies absolutely sensationalize and glorify the things that happened. This is a real case, the Smurl case that happened with the Last Rites. I looked it up. Some crazy things were happening.
Did it really involve a mirror?
There's no mirror involved.
Okay.
But there were paranormal things happening, and everyone in the family reported something different, whether it's knocking on the walls or rapping. Some of the family members, they reported sexual assault happening to them and all kinds of things. And Lorraine and Ed went there, and they said they have recordings of demon voices and knocks on walls and raptures and all kinds of things happening inside the house. But obviously the movies just take it and dial it to 150 when they're doing this stuff. So they're based off real people, but not exactly things that happen. So I think that's no problem for them to take, we'll take 2 characters from this, younger characters, go forward, give them the new keys to the kingdom, and make Conjuring movies with them.
Keys to the new line Ferrari.
Yeah.
And it'll like they'll be able to completely come up with stories on their own.
Exactly. So I think this is going to be the perfect bouncing board for them, a trampoline for them to make massive amounts of way more movies.
And I mean, this is just what movies franchises are. Is they're geared towards setting up and establishing the future of the IP. And I think 5 years ago I would have been rubbed the wrong way for how it does set things up for a future. But now I'm just like, this is just how everyone's doing it. This is just what it is.
At least The Conjuring, they're consistent.
Yeah.
Their movies are all pretty damn good.
Yeah.
What horror franchise can say that about themselves?
I don't think there is one.
Besides The Conjuring, off the top of my head, of course we have some franchises that are just budding. You know, Smile is a franchise I think it's always good. Same thing with Black Phone 2, which the poster behind me is of Black Phone 2.
I think you're going to have three movies,
from
though.
our great friends at movieposters.com. A little plug here.
It's a nice poster.
You like that? It's freaking awesome. It's of the Grabber's mask in the snow. This is a great poster from our friends at movieposters.com. Inside this amazing light box they sell as well. This is double print, so it's a movie theater quality. It's projected with the light behind it. Looks incredible. Use our code Raiders10 at checkout today to get 10% off your order at movieposters.com. And our affiliate link will get us a commission of every purchase made from movieposters.com. So use the code, use our link. It's a win-win for everybody. You get an amazing poster. It's awesome stuff. But yeah, so the Smile, the Black Phone 2, I can see butting into another great franchise if they do a third film.
We'll see if it's good.
You know, Smile, they're going to do a third one as well.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Paramount's really excited about that franchise. So there are early franchises booming right now. But overall, the last 80 years, a consistent franchise that isn't full of remakes and reboots and legacy sequels.
I mean, even if you look at James Wan's other franchises, Saw and Insidious, there's some good movies in there, but that's not consistent. This one, I think, is the consistent horror franchise that is out there. And I would argue that this might be the best one in the franchise.
It's up there.
I think it was really great, and I think they did an excellent job of homaging the past. Some great. I wouldn't call it nostalgia because it hasn't been that long, but some great calling cards to the past movies, especially at the end of the film. And the audience we saw it with, they were clapping, they were cheering on for these fun little things, these Easter eggs that they threw in near the end of the movie that I thought was just so great. We'll talk about in a little bit. But for fans of the franchise, they up the ante because you want to keep going bigger and better and making it the spectacle larger. And they've done some pretty crazy things in the franchise. But you know what? I think that what separates this one, especially from the last two, is it had a really good screenplay. I think they told a great story, and it's a big cast. It's an ensemble because you got the Lorraines, and now they have their daughter Judy and her boyfriend Tony. So you got 2 new main characters, and then you have the Smurl family, which has like 84 people in it.
I mean, that was kind of relevant to our lives.
So there's a lot of characters in this, and everybody seems to have a pretty good amount of screen time. And I got a sense for who everyone it was, even the kids and the Smurl family, and even the parents and the grandparent, the parents. I had a really great sense of balance when I was watching this for having essentially, I would say, 12 characters, pretty well spread out, and I never felt overwhelmed. And the movie took its time. It's so rare nowadays, especially in the horror genre. Yes, the horror films, they'll take their time. It's building the dread of a horror sequence, but I'm talking like character building, world building, development. Who are these people? What is this family? And we spent a good amount of time with the Smurl family, and I was like, they feel like a real family. And as kids who grew up in a very large family, 8 people in our home, it felt very reminiscent of how we grew up, and just the dining room, the dinner table, just everybody's talking, everyone's got something to say, and I really like how Chavez shot this. This is by far his best film that he's done. I wasn't on the highest of hopes because he has kind of a muddled filmography in terms of quality, but I think this is the best thing he's done as a director. It was well framed. It had a lot of confidence. He held the camera a lot. He did very nice long takes and zoom-ins and pull-outs and push-ins, and he really took his time to insert the audience into the world of the Smurl family, and I think he did a great job.
Yeah, Michael Chavez, he came on board for the Conjuring universe back in 2021 for The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Then he did The Nun 2, which wasn't received super well a couple of years ago. But The Conjuring Last Rites, I think, is up there as possibly the best Conjuring movie. And to stay on characters, man, for so many characters, they all felt authentic. They all felt real. They all felt flawed. You know, so many movies today, especially when they're adapting teenagers or kids, they turn them into adults basically with their personalities, and there's always a precocious kid that's smarter than everybody, and a shit-talking teenager that belittles their parents and puts everyone down and is better than everyone. Even when you're kind of passing the mantle here, and we have Judy Warren, who is Ed and Lorraine's daughter. Great origin story for her, where she was born during a possession that they were trying to get rid of, where the demon followed them. We're kind of getting into spoiler-ish territory.
Yeah, we're 10 minutes in.
You know, she was a great character, and she's not perfect. You could see so many mistakes that so many other studios would make, where they would make her better than her parents.
Disney.
And then her boyfriend felt so normal and real. He was just a guy.
You mean he wasn't a bumbling idiot?
He was a guy who was just in love with a girl.
Yeah.
And he has flaws, but he has great strengths as well. He's a very honest and loyal person, and he's so in love with this girl that he'll do anything for her, which is a very heartwarming thing. And a lot of people become smitten like that early in relationships, and it felt real and authentic. And their relationship was so great. It wasn't this BS Hollywood lame trajectory that we see so often.
It's weird. It's crazy that like we are surprised to see like a well-written male partner
and female, a relationship that's normal.
Yeah,
he's not getting belittled constantly. She's not overpowering, and not vice versa. They just love each other, and it felt so authentic on screen. And then I love the relationship between them and the parents. You know, Judy loves her parents; they love her so much. But Judy is getting the curse, you could say, that Lorraine has, where she's a seer, and Tony is slowly kind of learning this. He knows a little bit about it, but he's being introduced into the family. And I love the accidental proposal in the film. It was very sweet and warm, because this movie did a great job with the terrific writing from Ian Goldberg, Richard Nang, David Leslie, Johnson McGoldrick, and then the directing from Michael Chavez. There's so many great moments of dread and horror and suspense in this film, and they built it so well. But then there's like 10 minutes of really sweet family interactions, or like a house party, or a date, or
ping pong.
Everything. Yeah. It blends it all so well, this back and forth, this tightrope, until we get this great crescendo of emotions in the last third act of the film, the big climax, because we have so much connection to these great characters, the family, the Warrens, Judy and Tony, the Smurl family. You know, every character and every storyline is developed so well, with emotionality, whether it's love and humor with the Warrens, as well as what Judy's going through, or the dread that the Smurls are feeling, but they're still trying to feel like a normal family. And then we have this great third act where all these plot points are intertwined with this great horror element, with this mirror and the demons here. And it just worked so well because we felt it.
Yeah, man. Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, they're such great actors, and they're so good together. There's a reason why audiences love them as a married couple in these films, and man, they have such a great chemistry together. But they're also such talented performers, and I gotta say, they did the right thing by not doing they portray younger versions of them for the first case, and then the birth of Judy. I was like, are they gonna do AI face de-aging? Like, oh, I hope not. And they didn't, and they got two actors that really felt reminiscent of these two actors.
They did a great job casting.
And yeah, perfectly cast, but also the trouble you run into when you have to cast someone who looks like the actor you're trying to portray as younger is you kind of get like slim pickings of, we gotta get the best an actor who looks like our person but can act. And sometimes that doesn't work out because you have to choose someone who fits the bill visually, but like maybe they aren't a strong actor. But these two actors did an excellent job. And I really felt like it was Ed and Lorraine, who were like 24, 23 years old. I thought the film opened, it was great with the opening of their first case, investigating this paranormal, supernaturally haunted mirror of some sort that's been terrorizing a family. They seem to have met a powerful force that they can't explain. However, and it causes Lorraine to go into an early labor. They run out, they escape the house, go to the hospital emergency room, and then we have a very intense birth scene. And it was really powerful because we've seen all this stuff before, but then we see that the demon followed them. And one of my favorite moments is when Lorraine is struggling through labor, and then she sees the demon crawling atop the top of the ceiling, peeking out at her. I thought that was fucking awesome. It was so good. And then it was just like Judy being born, stillborn, and like, oh my God, this is so fucked up. And then coming back to life through prayer from Lorraine. I thought it was such a great opening scene, and it was great 7 minutes basically of a prologue to establish what we're going to see going forward for what the story is.
It's so interesting now. We're in this era where movies that involve Catholic Christian Church, prayer, we've been talking about like the Catholic horrorcore has just been on full swing, where it's always the church is evil. That was the trend of 2023, 2024. There had to have been a dozen horror movies that
so
were
repetitive.
Like evil church, evil priest, evil nuns. Even this movie has the nun, this franchise. But I mean, it used to be a staple where you're combating evil with prayer. You never see that in movies anymore.
Yeah.
It's so interesting, and that was the norm.
But that's always been in The Conjuring.
Exactly.
That's why Ed.
That's why
Yeah.
it still works and it's still powerful, because it was always. I mean, now it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Now, like, prayer is evil in Hollywood. It's so weird how trends in storylines and specific genres always go up and down in filmmaking and in storytelling. But it's always interesting. But I think that it was such a powerful thing to show the baby coming back to life through the power of prayer and faith. Mm-hmm. And also, that's Ed and Lorraine's biggest weapon against demons, against the possession, against the people they're trying to help, against the homes that are being terrified by demons or spirits. And at times it doesn't work. It's not always powerful enough. But I think, what happens towards the end of the film, and how they're able to defeat the demon at the end of this movie, obviously we're really in spoiler territory now, but this is kind of relevant, is the power of love and faith combined, which are always intertwined in every religion. That's how they're able to defeat the demon at the end of the movie.
And there's some good scares in this.
Oh my gosh,
this was scary.
The dude next to me, he, bless his heart, really nice guy, but before the movie started, he was already like scared before the movie. We were at an early screening, like James Wan and Saffron did like a little intro, but this guy was terrified. But he tells me, he's like, hey, I just wanted to let you know, like, I am so scared, and like I will probably be jumping the whole time. I'm like, it's all good, man, don't worry about it. The whole movie is so funny. It was very cute. He had a blanket that he brought with him. It must be his like safety blanket, but he had it up to his like neck and chin the whole movie.
Oh my
God! And he
God.
was constantly squirming and screaming. It was actually pretty hysterical.
Kudos to him for facing his fears.
Exactly,
going
yeah.
out there.
But like he was terrified even when the opening credits were rolling and the production companies were going. He was like, "Oh my God!"
I think that's. I mean, we've watched so many horror films, you and I, that this movie had some good scares, but it doesn't disturb me like when I was a kid.
Sure, yeah.
And scary movies used to like
I used to be just like that guy.
Yeah, terrorize my psyche, and I would just be terrified. I was horrified of demons after I watched The Exorcist, or even just being aware that The Exorcist existed as a kid, not even watching it, but just like I was like, oh my God, I'm so scared of a demon. So I get that, but I've seen so many movies that it doesn't faze me. But this film had some good scare moments. I think that You know what I mentioned, the labor sequence with that bald, pale demon creeping on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Great moment. Great jump scare with the demon on the edge of the bed, with when the Smurl husband was having his moment.
That
and
got me.
He's like,
That got me real
he turned,
good.
and then the demon was just like at the edge of the bed. Good stuff. And I think that, you know, everyone got their own scene basically of being tormented and terrorized in some capacity. They were all great, and I really like the mirror. The mirror is an interesting item for a supernatural film. It's been done before in the past, but it offers a really interesting look at some societies, ancient societies. They viewed a mirror in reflection as a portal and a doorway into the afterlife, into another world. And so for a long time, ancient cultures, if they were brought like a reflective mirror by other people, they didn't want to look at it, and they believed that looking at a mirror, they were looking into a different dimension and sometimes an evil plane. And so it's a great tool to use in a movie depicting supernatural forces or evils from another plane.
The opening of Constantine, baby.
Yeah, Constantine, great example. So I really like the use of the mirror, and it had some really great sequences, visually some fun stuff. I mean, I just love like when Ed and Papa Smurl, whatever his name was, Jack,
Papa Smurl.
like when they're in the attic and they tied up the mirror, wrapped it up, and then they're carrying it, and it starts unstrapping itself. I was like, this movie's really good. This is fun.
Those ratchets a little better by guys.
Great tension building in putting obstacles in front of your characters. The other one being like when they're in the attic, like the floorboards are all fucked up. There's no flooring, and just setting up difficulties for your characters, because the haunted house has been done 1,000 times. Can you have fun with it still? And can you throw things at your characters that'll make it still intriguing for your audience to watch another haunted house movie? And I think they did that.
At the end of the day, The Conjuring itself has always been a huge homage to the past. The Exorcist, I mean, even just the title, The Conjuring, The Exorcist, the classic horror movie, in one word. Plus the font is so similar. So I think that's always been in the DNA, is movies like The Exorcist. Plus I think there were references to The Exorcist in this film. You know, the levitation in the bed was really fun. I mean, we've seen that a bunch of times too. But I think when filmmakers know that they're homaging the past, but they're having fun with it, and they're doing it in a great way, in a stylistic way, in a creative way, and something different, it works, and it's fine with me. And I enjoy that. Like, I enjoyed the levitation sequence in the bed. You know, it's Reagan.
It was awesome. I smiled when it happened. I was like, oh, this is getting good.
They're doing it in a great way. And I think that this movie had so many great points of paying homage to the past, but also just kind of doing new things as well. Because the filmmaking, at the end of the day, I was shocked at how well this movie was made. I mean, I like I said, the Conjuring franchise has been great, but the cinematography was awesome. The production design, off the charts. This was a really high quality film, guys. And you don't get movies this big in scope and scale, $55 million budget film. It's a pretty expensive movie. For a horror film especially, to get this quality of filmmaking is just so fun to see. And I mean, I love the cinematography, especially, you know, when we're looking to the past with Ed and Lorraine, and even the family stuff. There's so much handheld, so much focus pulling and out of focus sequences. It almost at times it's like, am I watching a Terrence Malick movie for a second here? Playing with depth of field and not being afraid to have things chase out of focus and chase back into focus. And it added such a realistic quality to so much of the film, because so many supernatural horror films, they lose the realism real quick. But I think that's what Michael Chavez wanted to do. He wanted to pull you into the events, pull you into the memories of the past, pull you into the present, pull you into the Smurl home, pull you into the Ed and Lorraine Warren home, to make you feel like you're there. And I thought that was one of my favorite aspects of it, just jaw on the floor of how well the movie was made.
And what's crazy is Ed and Lorraine don't go to the house until like an hour 20 into the movie.
Yeah.
Like they waited. And I think that worked because once they stepped into the house, the audience was like, fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
So there was an incredible amount of anticipation for when the Lorraines would finally go to the Smurl house. And usually it happens at the end of the first act in any movie when they enter. And then the rest of the movie is them battling whatever the entity is. But this time it was like, they stretched it out. And I was like, this is actually good because now I was like 45 minutes into the movie, I was like, I can't wait for when they finally show up at this house. I don't know when it's gonna be, but I'm chilling right now while the story goes on. And like I was so excited for when they were finally gonna step into that Smurl home. And when they did, I mean, I feel like the theater got electric and everybody was just like, let's fucking go. I think there were some claps and I was like, yeah, you could hear people like, this is it, let's go.
Yeah. It was really interesting because this movie was very meta. You know, Ed and Lorraine, they've gotten notoriety in pop culture in the world. You know, their story's been told around the country and around the world. People know them by name from newspaper articles, TV documentaries, whatever. And everyone's aware of it in the world. And they're also dealing with not only that kind of sort of notoriety and fame, but also movies like Ghostbusters now exist in this world. And it's brought up multiple times in the film. Like, are they the Ghostbusters, which is really interesting.
I like how they made them more famous in the movie than they were in the real world.
Well, I wasn't alive in 70, whatever year it was.
Maybe they were really well known.
Because this happened in 1970s, late 1970s and 80s. Because the family experienced it in real life over the course of like a decade. Not versus the
Smurls.
The movie makes it feel like as soon as the mirror got there, it was just a couple days because the mirror didn't exist in the real world. That's just like the artifact that they had. I think horror movies, you really need an artifact, especially with The Conjuring. You know, artifacts are essential to the DNA of The Conjuring. I love how Ed and Lorraine have their den full of hell, basically. After they release the spirit, or they think they've released the spirit, they put it there, and they're kind of given the keys. Like when Ed gives Tony the keys at the end of the movie, I'm like, oh, they're passing this on to Judy and Tony.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I think Judy and Tony are going to be the new Conjuring leads.
Oh, that's absolutely what they're going to do.
But what I love the artifacts in The Conjuring in general. What was so cool was the Easter eggs to the Conjuring universe. And a lot of these artifacts, Annabelle has a huge role in this movie in a way. Even though it's not really about her and the demon that possesses Annabelle, she's really, in a way, haunting Judy. And I loved when Judy's seeing things, whether she's at lunch with Ed and Lorraine and she sees something behind her, and then Lorraine sees the hand on her shoulder, which was great. Because I love when horror filmmakers and movies are doing very subtle scares where it's like, if you'd missed it, you missed it. But if you saw the hand, you were creeped the fuck out. I think things like that are great, where it's not just in your face, here's something that's going to happen, but can you pick up on it? Are you paying attention? Which is fun. But Judy's seeing things, and then towards the third act, when they're in the Smurl's house, and she goes upstairs. I do have some cons to this movie, and this is going to connect to it, where she is haunted by Annabelle upstairs in the Smurl house. That was so cool. You know, she hears who she thinks is her mom calling her upstairs. She goes into the room. Judy, can you come here? And Annabelle's just sitting on the ground with her back to Judy. And then she becomes a giant Annabelle monster chasing her down the hall. That was so cool. I thought that was a lot of fun. But this connects to a con I have with this movie.
What's that?
We grew up in a house of 8 people.
Yes.
Oftentimes, the house was full of 10, 11 people if you have friends over. There are many sequences in this movie where we're at the Smurl house and no one's around. Like, where the fuck is everyone? I get it. What's really interesting about this film is the demon's very powerful, where it can distract you with other lower powered spirits, which it's doing with the guy with the axe and the family that were murdered. That in his family he killed at the old farmhouse where the Smurl house used to be. That's kind of a distraction. In a way, it's luring Ed and Lorraine there. But the demon is able to change environments, whether it's the priest going to request an exorcism from the cardinal.
Great scene.
Awesome scene. So the demon's able to warp the environment to a person's views and perspective. But there's so many sequences where that's not happening. Where is everybody? There should be people somewhere. You should be able to hear them. I get it. It's a horror movie. You get to build suspense.
Let me defend the film a little bit.
Defend it, please.
When Ed and Lorraine show up to a home, it's like you guys all stay in the living room together.
Sure.
While Lorraine has to explore. So that empties out the rest of the rooms of the home.
But then, like, she's in the living room and no one's there.
Is she in the living room?
She's like walking through the whole house and no one's around.
I feel like she walked through a hall, but not the living room.
She went through quite a bit of the house.
I would say I'm going to disagree with you here because I think that if the way I looked at it was everybody was in the TV room watching TV, or at least just dealing with what's happening with the TV on. And then I think their house is bigger than we maybe thought it was.
It's a big house.
Yeah. But I mean, that is the rule. Like, you guys all stay here while Lorraine walks around the home.
I get it.
Different rooms. So I would say, I get what you're saying, but I think they did fine. I think it was fine.
You gotta get the characters solo.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. It's just a big family. I grew up in a big family, and you can't go anywhere without seeing anybody.
But when your house is haunted, nobody's walking around. nobody's walking around.
And to stay in the Smurl family real quick, we talked about the authenticity of the characters, and I thought it was great. You know, I think the two sisters, what an authentic sibling relationship. You know, you love your siblings growing up, but you can't help but fucking hate them. You talk shit, you bicker, you argue, but when things are really serious, you are very concerned for them. And I think they did a great job with the older sisters. One's a little older, one's probably like middle school age, one's high schoolish, where the older one is always bullying the younger one, always setting her up for like a joke or something. So real and so authentic. But when she starts to puke glass, the younger sister is terrified and so concerned. But I love their back and forth. And I love the twin sisters, the younger sisters, who are just always running around playing, because that's all little kids do, is they run around. You never know what room they're in. But then the sequences where that little den in the kitchen, where it would pull the phone in.
That was great.
In the shadows. That was one of my favorite parts. And that was... Clearly, there's just some guy in the shadows pulling the cord.
Yeah.
There's just a dude in there. Or a girl, whatever. There's someone just pulling the cord.
It's a crude person, yeah.
But it works so well. Like
Yeah.
like you would think, like, I think Hollywood, they overthink. And we have to do this complicated thing. Just put someone in the shadows pulling the phone cord.
Yeah.
It worked so well. And I remember growing up when we had a phone.
They were that long.
With
If
a
anyone
cable
wants
that was
to know,
like, it would stretch 20 feet.
they were that long.
Like,
yeah.
Mom, our phone was in a weird spot in the kitchen, and Mom would pull that thing all the way across the dining room table
Yeah.
to the kitchen and talk on the phone.
Yeah.
But I love it's just so simple. It's like, duh. Why don't we don't have to overcomplicate everything. It works.
I gotta say, I missed that phone, man. That was great. I loved the cord because the cord was so long. It was literally on the ground. It was touching the ground when it wasn't in use.
I remember you'd be on the phone with somebody, like grandma or someone, and you just like twist around and it'd twist around you.
You'd curl it in your fingers. Yeah.
You'd pull it while the other one was on the phone.
But for any of you younglings who watched that scene, they're like, Jesus Christ, that cord's way too long. That's unbelievable. That's how long they were. It's absolutely accurate.
Yeah, and they were all twisty so that they could extend even more.
Because it was the only way to be able to do anything while you're talking on the phone, to make the cord super long so you could do stuff like go in the other room or do whatever you wanted to do.
Most people just had one phone in their house. We had 8 people and we had one phone.
Yeah. It was 80 feet long. You could go outside with that thing.
And if you picked up the phone, the internet would shut off.
Yeah, cut off AOL. No more chatting.
Do you ever see videos of Gen Z or Gen Alpha or young kids when they're seeing a phone, like a rotary phone or just a phone connected to the wall for the first time, whether it's at like a museum or something? They're like, how does this work? How do you dial?
Speaking of old tech, there's a great videotape sequence in this film. It was one of my favorite moments of the movie, and it was when in the first act of the film, the younger teen girl, one of the Smurls, it was her birthday. The grandparents got the haunted mirror for her from some house sale, and that's what brought the mirror there. But we have a nice little cute birthday, candles, blah, 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 blah. But what's cool is she's about to blow out her candle, and then someone else blows it out. And she's like, hey, my sister, she blew it out. And they start arguing, and the sister's like, I didn't blow it out. And you're like, oh, fuck. The fucking demon blew that fucking candle out. Holy shit. And then the ceiling collapses. I was like, oh my God, this movie's actually really cool. Then 20 minutes later, the family has been terrorized for weeks now. And I really like how there was no it wasn't a conversation until like the fucking final straw. You know what I mean? It's not like every time something happened, they told their parents. The less exposition, the better. We know they talked about it. They cut away to Ed and Lorraine after something crazy happens, but we know one of the daughters or whatever, or the grandparent, like they're talking about what's happening. We don't need to see it. And which is why when we visited them at the end of the third act, they're like, Dad, we gotta do something. Oh, they're trying to kill us all. Like, we know they've had the conversations, but I love the scene where this daughter, middle of the night, she can't sleep, and she's just trying to investigate what's going on. She remembers her birthday and the candle, so she puts the tape in that someone was filming during the birthday. She puts the tape in, and she's replaying when her candle was blown out, not by her, but by what looked to be an invisible force. And she goes to the candle, it gets blown out, pauses it, rewinds, plays it again, pauses it, rewinds. She's trying to pause it on the right moment. She sees you see a flash of a face. You're like, oh my God, this is awesome. And then she finally pauses it on the right beat. And I love how it took her 6 tries.
Oh, hell yeah.
If they did it in 2 tries, I would have been like, that's bullshit.
Sometimes you see it done in 1 try. It's like, it is so hard to pause, especially a VHS because it's a delayed pause.
Yeah.
You have to time it so well.
I love how many times it took her to get it right. They did it so well. She pauses it, and we see the face of the grandma demon from the trio of the murder family just smiling and blowing the candle out. And I was like, this is so good. This is getting really good. And then the frame keeps repeating over and over and over again. I was like, that was one of my favorite moments of the film. I thought it was super fun, super creative, great use of old tech.
Yeah.
I thought it was so great.
Did a good job making it feel like an old movie. It really did feel like it was the 1970s or 80s. I can't remember exactly what year they're specifying. But, man, there's still so much to talk about with this movie. I'm excited to talk about all the Easter eggs in addition to Annabelle. I want to talk more about the demon and also how the demon operates in terms of using these other spirits to sort of mask itself until it really lures Ed and Lorraine there. But I really just want to point out that Anthony and I, we're doing something cool on YouTube now where you can sign up for memberships. And, this is how we pay our rent. This is how we pay the bills. And we really appreciate everyone who signs up on Patreon. And now YouTube, for just $1 a month, you can get access to episodes early. So we usually schedule our episodes a couple days in advance, and if you sign up, you can watch it pretty much as soon as it's uploaded.
You can watch our Tuesday episode right now if you want.
You can watch Anthony sleep if you want. But
there's a webcam next to my bed. It's me and Juno.
That's the $2,000 feature.
Yeah, it's me and Juno spooning.
There are a couple other perk tiers there. You get access to specific emojis for commenting, which is fun, and this
just
is
$1.
Yeah, this is the stuff that helps Anthony and I pay our rent every single month, and we couldn't do it without you all. And then also, of course, signing up on Patreon is a great way to support us as well. Different kinds of perks there, like access to bonus episodes every single week, weekly bonus episodes. Letterboxd recap is there, and also we just did Caught Stealing the other day, which was a lot of fun. You get access to our Discord, all kinds of different merch. Plus, we do watch parties in Discord, which is a lot of fun. Patreon.com/Raiders of Lost Podcast. As little as $10 for an annual membership. You can get the lowest tier there. But, I mean, if you're balling, feel free to, help us out a little more. Also, another great way to support the show, in addition to these things, is to leave a 5-star rating on Spotify or Apple. It's the only place you can rate podcasts, and Apple is the only place you can leave written reviews, which I'll read in just a minute. These are so integral to us, building our reputation, getting new people to give us a shot when they discover our show on a feed on Apple or Spotify or CastBox, wherever people listen. So leave those reviews. It's so helpful. Also, again, subscribing on YouTube, not just being a member, but subscribing, leaving comments, engaging with our content on Instagram and TikTok. I mean, we're going to the one battle after another premiere on Monday.
It's going to be epic.
Like, we would not be able to go to that and see Leonardo DiCaprio in person if you didn't engage with our content and leave comments and shares in your stories and follow us everywhere. It's because you all interact with us, and we respond all the time, so we love responding to DMs and comments. So go engage with our content on the social media platforms and share our episodes with people that love movies or need something new to listen to on the car rides to work or to home, when they're on walks, running, at the gym. If someone's craving something new and fun and great for breakdowns of movies, old, new, and present, let them know and send them your favorite episodes.
This episode, of course, is sponsored by our amazing friends at movieposters.com, the number one place to get your posters online today. Look at that fucking badass Black Phone 2 poster behind James. Backlit, double-sided.
Double-sided is the word.
Double-sided, sorry. I like this poster a lot.
It's really cool. It's creepy as hell.
Very simple. And it looks great on set with that backlight frame, which makes your home look like a movie theater. You can get cool frames and posters like this at movieposters.com. They have a huge selection of pretty much every film and TV imaginable in their poster library, from your favorite modern Hollywood classics to original movie poster prints, collectible lobby cards, amazing alternate prints by cool artists, They got everything you need. Poster frames, whatever you got. Go to movieposters.com. You use Raiders10. Now, that coupon code always gives you 10% off your order, as well as the affiliate link, which gives James and I a little cut of the action. Movieposters.com.
All right, let's get into our intermission, Anthony, and begin with the movie quote competition. Here we go. 2 characters here. How's about investing in condominiums? It's safe. Condominiums? Yeah, condominiums. I never use them.
That's Rocky.
Rocky 2.
Rocky 2.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a little cheddar.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
He got nothing to invest in when he's in Rocky 1, man.
He's got a ball.
He's got a holes in his
He's got a
sweaters.
rubber ball. All right, here's mine. I see Bud because I want to. I see Bud because he can't hide the good inside of him. I see Bud because he treats me like Lynn Bracken and not some Veronica Lake lookalike who fucks for money.
You're saying Bud?
Bud.
All right. Say it one more time.
I see Bud because I want to. I see Bud because he can't hide the good inside of him. I see Bud because he treats me like Lynn Bracken and not some Veronica Lake lookalike who fucks for money.
I don't know.
L.A. Confidential. Bassinger talking about Russell Crowe's character, Bud.
Yeah. It's a good one. Guess this movie release year, Anthony. The Pelican Brief.
1993?
Wow, he's spot on. Holy crap. Look at that.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Braveheart. When did it come out?
Nine, 1997.
95.
Oh, did it win Best Picture?
Yeah,
Yeah, thought so.
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did.
Movie pop quiz time. What movie did Edward Norton secretly play a king?
Kingdom of Heaven.
That's right.
Fucking good shit, man.
The Leper King. Uncredited.
What are the Coen brothers' top 4 movies on Letterboxd?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Highest rated.
It's so interesting that Anthony, comes after me for giving him list questions, and this is like 3 episodes in a row. He's giving me list questions here.
No, I didn't do a list question yesterday.
Yeah, you did.
Did I?
You did the same thing. You did a letterbox thing.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Yesterday?
Or two episodes ago.
You said in a row, though.
You probably
This
did.
wasn't in a row.
Let's get to the question. All right. No Country for Old Men's obviously on there.
Yes.
Fago, fuck yourself.
Yes.
That's a really good question. Let's see. Big Lebowski.
Correct. There's one more.
One more.
See if you can go 4 for 4. It'd be very impressive.
The thing with Coen Brothers, it could be kind of like anything.
Could be anything. Could be any of them. What's it gonna be, Jim?
I'm gonna go with Barton Fink.
4 for 4.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
4 for 4.
Fuck yeah.
Wow. Good stuff, man. Well done.
It's a good question.
It's a great answer.
Thanks, man.
Even better answer, man.
4 for 4. No misses,
Wow.
baby.
Wow, that was impressive.
Oh, no one saw Barton Fink coming.
You did.
Yeah, I saw that.
You saw it.
I saw the signs.
No one got it. Didn't get past you, man. All right, let's talk about our unsubscribes for today. First up, Ocean Roars. Is membership different from Patreon? LeBron, thumbs down. Nikola Jokic, thumbs up. Unsubscribe.
That was. I almost had a seizure listening to you say that.
I definitely said, "What is Jokic? It's Jokic or Joe?
Spell it.
That basketball player.
Oh,
Jokic.
Jokic.
Jokic, I think is what it is.
Jokic.
I see First Take on TV all the time, but it's on at the gym and there's no volume, so I can't remember how you pronounce it. It's different from Patreon. It's just 99 cents, and you can see our episodes when they scheduled before they ever go live on YouTube.
Early access. But there's other tiers there too, so it's different, but it's also just it's another way to support us. So if you don't want to do Patreon, memberships on YouTube is also
it's
a good
YouTube
thing.
specific.
Yeah.
All right, next up. Dirk Diggler. While I love superhero fatigue episode and agree, especially on the MCU lately about fatigue, if James doesn't chill on that ever-growing superhero hate boner, I will unsubscribe.
This is Anthony.
It was me.
This is Anthony.
It was me, Dirk.
Anthony's got the superhero hate boner, guys.
It was me.
I know sometimes our voices are confusing because they're identical as fuck, but that's all Anthony.
I was just like.
I've been trying to tone him down. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, well, for me, I really am feeling the fatigue, man.
Hey, I feel the fatigue too, but you're like, sometimes you just like go on a rant.
I was like, who gives a fuck?
I'm like, hey man, people still care.
I know. I just say it. I care less.
Yeah.
I respect it though. Next up, Nico. You guys better put Dominic McLaughlin's performance as Pan in Pan's Labyrinth as your number one in the 101 performance episode when you make your own list. Or I'll unsubscribe. He'll have multiple spots. Dominic will be all over that list, more than Daniel Day-Lewis. Then we got up next. On that episode, 101 best performances of the century. Orange grape juice. Dominic McLaughlin not being on this list is criminal. Unsubscribed.
Dominic McLaughlin, man.
the joke of the fucking year, man. Holy shit. So random, too. It's the most random joke we've come up with. That's it for Unsubscribed. We recorded it yesterday.
I'm trying to remember what episode it originated in.
It was a movie news episode.
Yeah, it must have been. Because we just kept riffing it over and over
It
again.
just kept saying. Also, Dominic McLaughlin actually wrote that.
All right, we have a great 5-star written review from Transient Lad. Subscribe, 5 stars. I've been listening to you guys on YouTube for a couple years, but came here to give a little extra support. Gonna give 5 stars for recommending Thief and The Grey. Both instantly became some of my favorites.
Heat.
Thank you, too, for always being entertaining. Those are awesome movies, first of all.
Man. Straight heat.
I mean, Thief
Fire.
and The Grey are terrific. Very different films. But Transient Lad, so glad you checked them out. Appreciate you, normally watching on YouTube or listening on YouTube and coming and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. It's the only place you can leave written reviews. So thank you so much for doing that and for listening and subscribing and hopefully becoming a member soon on YouTube.
Thanks,
as
pal.
well. Appreciate you.
I remember I showed The Grey to Mom. We watched it over Christmas when I was over her place for Christmas. And she loved it.
It's an awesome movie.
She was like, it cut to black, like Liam Neeson, Wolf,
Attack.
back and forth. Cut to black. And right away she goes, that was awesome.
Did you guys stay for the post-credit scene?
No. We didn't. It was just in her living room.
Have you seen it? Have you seen it? The end credits?
I feel like I've seen it online. Yeah, I've seen it on YouTube.
Yeah, there's an end credit scene.
Yeah.
It's of it's really
It's the wolf.
it's the wolf licking his paw. No, it's a great shot because it's ambiguous as well. It's Liam's on top of the wolf. They're both just like, are they alive? Are they both dead? You don't really know. It's just maybe like a 5-second tracking shot.
I don't like it.
I think it's kind of cool.
I like it better of just like it cutting right when they start the fight.
His eyes are open, but you don't know if he's alive.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. But we did not stay for that.
You didn't stay.
We turned the TV off. We left the house.
You left the house?
Yeah, we just walked right out.
Walked away.
We left the house, started walking down the neighborhood.
Tried to find a wolf.
Yeah.
Man, it's so badass when he starts to like put the bottles in his fingers and just breaks them. He's ready to go. He tapes the knives to his hands. I fucking love that ending.
It's great. It's a really
Great
good
movie.
Ending. Yeah.
Movie streaming recommendation, Anthony. What you got?
Tell me what you got, man.
I am choosing Submarine on HBO Max. This is a really great, quirky drama comedy. It's one of those movies that's like in the realm of Little Miss Sunshine. Also has some fun surrealist elements to it that I wish people talked about it more. I think it's hysterical. In this, the main character is this kid who's just has these silly fantasies that we all kind of dream up in our heads of like, oh, I wish this was happening to me right now, or like the way he thinks people think about him, but they actually don't. It's a lot of fun.
Patty Considine is so funny in that. He's great. Richard Ayoade wrote and directed that.
Yeah,
this is his first film. Really good pick, man.
Thanks.
I chose Edge of Tomorrow on Netflix because it's just awesome, man.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's fucking great. I read
You read? Didn't know you could read.
I read most of the original draft of that film.
Of Submarine?
No, Edge of Tomorrow. It's actually quite different.
What was the original draft like?
So the first draft, it opens in battle. He's already in the exosuit and dies and wakes up on the military base. That's how it opens.
And so it doesn't have him interacting with the general and on TV?
No.
Man, it's an interesting way to open it, but it opens so strong because
Yeah.
it's Tom out of character, being a coward. He's just a media guy talking to the general to get sent in. It's great.
They did a good job of really setting up the story in the film, but in that original script, it's like I can see an audience who might have been like, "What the fuck's going on exactly?" So I think that the opening of Edge of Tomorrow worked really well.
Copy that.
But it was interesting to see, like, it was just, and then like things are different. That first battle is different of how he gets the blood on him. I think it worked better ultimately with how they did it.
I think so too.
It was like a 15-page sequence of him in the battle for the first time. It was very long.
All right, let's get back into The Conjuring. Last rites. And I want to talk about the demon. At first, the opening of the movie is really terrific. Anthony was touching on it earlier of Ed and Lorraine. Pregnant Lorraine gets induced into labor from the demon that they're trying to exorcise from a house and rush to the hospital. Middle of the night, power goes out, and then as she's giving birth, the demon in the corner of the wall in the ceiling just watching in the shadows. Fucking terrifying. Baby dies, but through prayer and faith, they're able to bring Judy back from the dead. And then they abandoned this demon, and they talked about how it's the first time they ever ran away, and that's what they're doing to the Smurls first when Judy wants to go and help the Smurls after hearing about the case. But Judy convinces them, like, we don't run away from fights, and brings them back, and then they discover it's the same demon from their past who's, we've been waiting for you so patiently. And the demon's really great because, like I said, it's using the spirits of the past in this house that used to be a farmhouse of a husband who killed his wife and mother-in-law in the basement. The giant guy with the overalls and the axe.
Super scary.
Very terrifying whenever you go into the basement and he's just down there chasing Lorraine around. It's terrifying, man. It's a great character, super imposing and powerful, and I thought they had a lot of fun with that. But they discover that this is really a facade of the real possession here. It's this demon. I can't remember the name of the demon, if they gave it a name.
They never gave it a name.
But it's been waiting for him.
Yeah.
It's the same demon from the past that almost killed Judy, and it wants Judy. It's been craving their daughter all this time. And now Judy's finally here. And I think that...
well, it's great.
Real quick, the actress who plays Judy, Mia Tomlinson, she stood out in this movie.
She's
her
good.
first big role. She's done a bunch of stuff, bunch of smaller movies, but she really took advantage of the opportunity with this movie, I think, and was a great presence. She's stunning. She's talented. Great with horror because she got to do all kinds of things, where she's seeing visions like Lorraine. She is trying not to worry her parents. She's in love with the guy. She's doing a whole range of emotions in this film, Mia, and nailing every single one. And then she gets to play possessed and play the demon in her body, and it looked like so much fun.
That was a great bit. But real quick, I really like how they never... Sometimes I think it works great when you don't specify what demon it is. It just adds a little bit more mystery. But I liked how in this film, what they did to really mix it up is the demon had a plan to draw Ed and Lorraine back to it. That's what its goal is to bring Judy to it.
Yeah, the demons read the newspapers and stay
Just waiting
on top of the news for Ed and Lorraine.
Oh, they're keeping busy. Okay.
Oh, yeah, they got another... They're close.
Yeah, so then attacking and terrorizing the Smurl family, its whole goal is to just bring Ed and Lorraine back to it so that it can have Judy. So I thought it was really fun how it basically had been playing this long game. It was patient.
Yeah, it was just chilling inside this mirror.
They were waiting. It was waiting patiently.
It was waiting in that mirror, which I thought was clever. The mirror was great. You need a good artifact. Anthony said that, a portal to another dimension is great, but also the design is so creepy and eerie, and the three cherubs at the top of it kind of signify the three for me, the three spirits that were killed in the house, it's kind of like a little metaphor.
But also, the cherub, the little baby angel?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And obviously it's a demon that probably goes after babies because it tried to get Judy as an infant as she was being born. So just a terrible spirit in general. Just biding its time.
Just like fucking asshole.
What were you doing? Biding your time? 7. But it's a creepy mirror. It's a creepy gift to give your granddaughter on her communion. Or is it confirmation, I mean. I like the confirmation sequence as well, and I love the family. Confirmation. We grew up in being raised Catholic. We went to church every Sunday. We all got confirmed in our family. You do the whole thing. You get a gift from your grandparents. It's kind of standard. We both got watches from Grandma and Grandpa, which is nice. I was stoked by that. It was a relic watch, the brand relic, top notch from Sears.
Top of the line.
Sears, baby.
Man, we thought Sears was fancy.
But I like how the grandparents, because the grandparents sometimes get you weird gifts, and they got this.
I thought it was in line. Yeah.
Beautiful, ornate, antique mirror, but the sisters, Dawn and the other sister, Janet. No, not Janet's the mother. Heather. Dawn and Heather. Heather's the younger one. Are just creeped out by this mirror, and they're just like, this thing is weird. We gotta get this out of here. It's a good reference, right?
That's a deep track. That's a reference.
If you know, you know. Weird. I like how they, you always get this weird gift from your grandparents, and like you live with it for a month, and you're like, I'm getting rid of this sweater or whatever it is, and they try to get rid of it, but it makes its way back to the attic. Also, fucking Smurl, Papa Smurl, Jack Smurl, you gotta put some fucking boarding down up there in the attic with just the planks. Like, come on, guys.
He's not that kind of guy. Look at him. He's not that kind of guy.
Why not?
I mean, he looks like a librarian.
Why? He's got glasses. You got glasses.
Yeah, but he looks like a dork.
He's glass. You look like a dork.
No, I don't. I got this really great shirt. I got a chain on. I do not look like Papa Smurl, man.
How he's called Papa Smurl.
It just makes sense. Papa Smurl.
Papa Smurl.
Papa Smurl is a fucking nerd. He does not know how to put down a floor on an attic.
But no,
I could do that.
But the mirror I like a lot, especially, one of my favorite effects that they were doing in this movie with the demon specifically was the levitation. Whether it's the creepy doll that walks around and float. When that doll floated in the air,
that's great.
I was locked the fuck in, man. I was freaked out. I thought it was so creepy and fun. And then later on, it happens again through the reflection in another mirror, and then the mirror itself floating and levitating and spinning in the big crescendo third act was so exciting.
Keep calling it a crescendo.
Word of the day.
16 crescendos.
That's only the second time I've said it.
No, it's like the third time.
Second time I've said it.
You keep calling the third act of this movie a crescendo.
I said it once before.
No, twice before. You're at number 3.
This of a word to make a crescendo on your face.
You haven't said that word in 5 years. You keep saying it today.
I've said it more recently than 5 years ago. Listen, man. All right, I won't say crescendo anymore. But
they also levitated Papa Smurl. Oh, man, it was great. And I really like the ending. When shit's going down, and when shit's going down, bro. one of the threads of the story is Lorraine raised Judy to reject her connection to the supernatural and to always turn it off and shut it out because she's afraid of what would happen to her daughter. She's trying to protect her daughter. She's scared for her daughter. And it had a really great third act because finally, the mirror's going crazy. It's like levitating and spinning and dancing. Sorry. It was really good. It looked good. And then it started it tore through Tony's leg, and it was like fucking him up. It was pushing him. It was fucking Tony. No, it was fucking him up. It wasn't fucking him. That's weird, man.
You said fuck it first.
It's pushing them down the hallway. It's gonna crush them, and they're in bad shape. And Ed's trying to do prayer, and with his book, it's not doing shit. I love how
he's trying to do prayer.
It sets his Bible on fire. I was like, oh man, set the Bible on fire! Holy shit, what is this demon? and Lorraine can barely contain it as well. And then then Lorraine's like, Judy, lock the fuck in. Lock in, baby. Let's go.
Well, it's great because they all work together
as a family. Yeah.
Ed slamming the burning Bible on the mirror was cool as hell.
It's great. I love that shot. Yeah.
And then, like I said, through the love of the family and through faith, that's how they get the power to expel the demon. That's how I interpreted it.
Yeah. I think that was great, and they fucked that demon up. they shattered the glass and killed at least eradicated the demons, all 4 of them. And it was a really fun ending. I thought it was really great. The set piece was really cool. I really liked the mirror just basically becoming the weapon. It was fun. It was a good time, man. It was a good time. And I really liked the priest scene.
When the priest amazing.
When the priest scene goes to the big church to speak to the bishop, and he's dealing with the secretary, and suddenly the secretary disappears from her desk, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And he's alone in this office, and then he goes to the room of the bishop to use the doorknob, but the doorknob, which has crucifixes on them, one of the doorknobs goes upside down, turning the crucifix upside down. You know you're getting that image somewhere eventually in a Conjuring movie. And then being attacked by this demon, him pulling out his own crucifix, which the demon also lights on fire. I was like, this is awesome. And then cutting to him hanging himself. When that sequence happened, I was like, this feels like a really cool older horror film where this crazy shit would happen, even to a priest. I thought it was really great, and for me, put the movie over the edge of like, it got me really excited for watching the rest of the film. I was like, I'm fucking in this, man.
I gotta say also, I've always been a huge Vera Farmiga fan, and Patrick Wilson. They have great chemistry together, and they're both, I believe, in their 50s in this movie. And Vera Farmiga, she's just aging with such grace. She's stunning. We see a lot of things on, you know what I mean. Hollywood's full of interesting faces as people age. But Vera,
people age differently now than they used to.
But Vera looks so beautiful and stunning, and it's so refreshing to see older actors just embracing aging and not trying to expel it like a demon.
You mean actually having like wrinkles on their
and
face?
Just looking normal,
Yeah.
and she looks terrific, and
Patrick looks really good.
Patrick, like when he's got health problems in the movie, I'm like, really, this guy is
fucking shredded.
He's
the
in great
polos,
shape. Man, the knitted
The
polos.
knit polos.
Patrick Wilson's a tall drink of water, man.
He's aged like fine wine.
They're
too.
both aging so well, and it's just refreshing to see in this era of Hollywood of just actors just, this is what I look like. This is how I am.
Yeah.
And I think it's great for just to show that and just to be yourself. And I think that was one of my favorite parts of the movie. It was just, wow, they look great.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Vera looks amazing.
Vera does look amazing.
And she is amazing.
She's great.
Yeah.
She really is. And I liked how, legacy sequels, when you're setting up a new version with new characters, oftentimes before like the last few years, it's just like you have someone come in, they're better than the previous people, the predecessors. But, Lorraine still got the most power, and she's really doing her best to handle this. But I think they're passing the mantle on really well, and they did a great job, with Tony and Ed and their interactions, and kind of like, here's the keys to the kingdom, and check it out. Like, you got to learn about this now. And then Judy from her mother, they're going through the same thing. Lorraine went, I'm sure, through the same thing when she was her age.
And we got the very sweet scene of Lorraine having the vision of their future together.
Yeah.
I thought that was really nice. It's like the movie ends, but also we got a taste of what the rest of their lives are like, and they're going to live a happy life.
I loved the ending of the movie.
Yeah.
It was so warm. You're right. You see the family. They have a kid. They're all happy. They're grandparents. And then it ends with the wedding as well. And it was so beautiful, and it was so sweet. But speaking of the wedding, because Anthony and I remember we saw this movie 8 years ago. I'm trying to remember all the scenes. One of my favorite scenes was Judy trying on her wedding dress inside the room of mirrors.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was cool.
That was
awesome. Fantastic.
And the demon was under her skirt. That was so creepy.
It was really fun.
And I really liked the reflections and how she was interacting with them. But I will say, going shopping for a wedding dress 2 days after your boyfriend proposes is a little fast.
It's the 80s, man.
Okay, I guess. The
80s.
Right. But it looked really good. It was a great scene.
Gotta speed these up. Yeah. Overall, though, I think that The Conjuring, it's just been such an impressive franchise. The Conjuring themselves movies have been, I think, the best. I think the first Annabelle movie is pretty damn good.
It's pretty. Yeah, first Annabelle movie's
The
pretty
Nun's
good.
pretty good. But, you know, we're talking about the consistency. It's all there. And just kudos to James Wan coming in and making the first two movies of the Conjuring franchise. Michael Chavez taking it over. And then James Wan and Peter Safran. Peter Safran's been there since the beginning as well, producing these movies and, you know, taking a shot on James Wan with this idea, this modern horror possessive house franchise, and just it's been so successful. And I think it's been a breath of fresh air in the world of horror reboots and remakes. And like we were talking about this in our recent episode, how most horror reboots and legacy sequels and remakes have just not been that impressive the last 15 years. But The Conjuring's just killing it.
And period horror works still.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of studios, they're like, we want to make horror movies as cheap as possible, so they often want contemporary. But man, the period pieces really work oftentimes, I think, because I love the tech, I love the analog uses of recording devices or what have you, and I think that audiences like period settings too. It's fun because it really transports you into a different time and a different world. And I think that we have an overabundance of only contemporary horror films, it seems like, and I mean this one really sets itself apart.
And how cool is it that we have cameos now?
Oh, the cameos, yeah.
I mean, Lily Taylor at the wedding at the end of the film from the original Conjuring, that was such a cool thing to see her just in the crowd just clapping and smiling.
All of them were.
Yeah.
They were all
whole
the characters from the other films too.
Yeah, but
The other two films.
what's his name? Ron Livingston wasn't there.
No.
But yeah, so like all the previous,
Most of them, most of them, yeah.
a lot of the previous Conjuring movies, they had cameos
Yeah.
from the characters at the wedding. I thought that was really sweet and really fun.
Yeah.
It shows like, yeah, they're saying goodbye, but are they really going to say goodbye?
It's saying goodbye to Ed and Lorraine.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
But then, you know, there are great references to the Amityville movies in this, the Amityville horrors, the Artifact Room. You know, I think they did a great job just connecting the world. Even there's a reference to the Nun in this movie.
Yeah.
Connecting all of the Conjuring movies together in this film.
Yeah, it was the Avengers movies of the Avengers of the Conjuring. Imagine if another studio did it, they might have been like a demon team up movie. But I think they did a great job. I think it was overall as good a way to end the franchise for Ed and Lorraine as you could.
Yeah,
hope for.
I agree.
Yeah.
That was a
Well,
lot
I
of
gave
fun.
it 4 stars on Letterboxd. I thought it was
Yeah,
awesome.
I had a terrific time with it. Yeah. You got anything else?
No, that's it, man.
Yeah, I mean,
4 stars.
Besides that, guys, hope you enjoyed this episode breaking down The Conjuring, The Last Rites. I'm sorry. Again, our new thing, become a member on YouTube. You can join. There's a join button on our YouTube channel on our homepage. Join there. Become a patron also for different perks and access to different kinds of episodes at patreon.com/Raiders of the Lost Podcast. Leave those 5-star ratings and reviews on Spotify and Apple. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all of the things. You know what to do. Besides that, take care.
See you next time.
This episode was executive produced by our chosen one patrons, Nicholas Martin and Jacob Kossler. Raiders of the Lost Podcast is a Mirror Image production.